that we're dealing with in Limón, which is this whole kidney failure issue.
Okay.
People mostly are not aware of this, but there is an epidemic of kidney failure in Sri Lanka, certain parts of India, and Central America, mostly El Salvador.
Okay.
And there have been something like over 20,000 people have died in Sri Lanka, kidney failure in the last few years. About 20,000 in El Salvador. And one in our village. We have a 45-year-old woman who died last year. We have a 25-year-old young man who is on dialysis, and unless he gets a kidney, his life's going to be very short.
But then what to the person?
Maybe the
Nobody. It's what's called a multifactorial epidemic. There are several factors that are coming together.
Because we're starting
that
to
cause
figure. We're starting to make some connections.
Because the places they are like really isolated and poor, maybe environmental reasons, maybe gas.
Are they working
Okay,
Can I say something?
Yeah.
If you get one case of renal failure, you can say, well, the person was just unlucky. If you get 2 cases in a village of less than 200 people, you start to be suspicious that maybe there is an environmental factor or a genetic factor. But then if you realize the 2 people are not related,
That's
then
not
maybe
generic.
it's environmental. Now, the woman who died was 44. The young man who's on dialysis is 26. And now there's a 5-year-old who is not yet on dialysis, but has been told she has renal insufficiency. When you get 3 in one village, and 2 of them live next to fields that are heavily fumigated with agrochemicals, and one working in a greenhouse, then you really start to look for environmental factors, and that's where Jon's research into other countries is starting to add up. And I'll turn it back to Jon and say what he has a theory now about the combination of the water and the agrochemicals.
Yeah. The interesting thing is that there are several. Yeah, there's one particular chemical that is very suspect in Sri Lanka, which is used. Wait till this.
Oh my God!
It sounds like drugs.
There's one herbicide that's used heavily in Sri Lanka. It's used heavily all over the world. It's called Roundup. And
Glyphosate or glyphosate.
Glyphosate is the chemical name, and it's also a part of the Monsanto genetically modified organism GMO strategy. Strategy. But the thing is
Monsanto's
that
like destroying everything.
everybody in Limón knows what glyphosate is, and if you ask anybody who farms there, they will tell you we use a lot of it. You ask them.
Well, the government does. I mean,
Well, they get it's effective at what it does, and it's cheaper than the
It's a lot
alternatives.
cheaper than whacking a weed with a machete, and it's considered safe.
safe.
Because the way it acts, it acts on a metabolic pathway in plants. The pathway it acts on in plants does not exist in animals, so therefore it's considered safe. However, in a series of studies done with human cell lines, it is apparently quite dangerous. It's undergoing its periodic review in the United States right now with the EPA. No results are expected for at least another year.
What is FDA doing about it? I mean, nothing.
Nothing.
I have something to say about that. Actually,
Jon.
I've been thinking for a time about a personal project that has to deal about how the chemicals we eat and the ones we put on the skin affect our health, because 60% of the things we put on our skins go underneath, so it goes directly to our body, and sometimes
Yes.
and sometimes that changes chemical, and it even changes our DNA for the next generation to come. So actually, I would like to work with you with that.
What we need
If I can somehow.
What we need is a lab here in the Dominican Republic that can analyze things. That's the most immediate need. I'm going to take some things.
Money.
No, there's something going on with. There's a new lab.
I mean, but we have labs here.
There's a new
I think
lab that Carlos just sent me a message about it today. That Jasmine went to visit this lab, and I think it's at Serimat in the Plaza de Salud. but I'm not sure. But
It was
it's
the
associated with it.
university.
Unfu.
No,
UAS.
no,
UTESA. Pucamaima, Unive, Intec.
No,
No
it's
hay más.
not university.
OYM.
It's starting the medical.
O&M. Yeah, go there. What?
Stations of the Cross.
Hermano, pues no relaje.
So yeah, OAN medical.
Yeah, I've had email contact with one of the people who was involved in starting the medical school at OAMA, and I can pick that up again.
Well, Jasmine would also. I don't know if Jasmine would be interested in something like this, but she's very close.
I'm sorry, let's just a minute on to get past here.
Oh, it's not over yet. María, ¿tú no andas rápido?
A mí no me han llamado. No me llaman.
Yo te mato si tú no la comes, se va de viaje ya, ¿tú sabes? Se va de viaje.
A ver, ¿qué hago pasando el rato?
Wow. People are really religious here.
The thing that's really relevant here is the telemedicine project offers a structural base telemedicine project offers a local structural base for identifying and doing prevention work around local issues. That's a lot of the argument for it is that because it's locally focused, it'll pick up whenever there's an local environmental issue, it'll pick it up. Because people know about it in the village, but this information never goes outside the village. But having a representative, an intermediary, a medico comunitario in the village, means that this kind of thing, when they do the first levantamiento, will be identified, and you can start thinking about prevention. For example, in the kidney failure epidemic.
You should go to universities. I mean, you should go to universities and talk to them and start working with them. Because those universities, they get funds every year, the labs at least, and they're looking for projects to work in.
Okay.
So the thing is that they spend a whole year without projects because people they don't know that all those problems are happening around the village out there. So you should
Universities in what country?
Here.
In this country, they have money.
The MESID gives each lab money to develop different projects because they're actually motivating investigation and researching and all that.
That's mainly in Santo Domingo.
Yeah, that's
and
here in
probably
Santo Domingo.
Santiago, the big city.
I'm not saying that it's in Limón, but what I'm saying is that you should come to universities here and talk. I mean, I think you could find help around
I
it.
think that do you have a Google Plus account, or do you have?
I've never done Plus, but
you have Gmail and stuff like that. Because if you started making videos now of you while you're in the States, making sure that you guys have videos then putting them up online.
I want to talk about videos. You were talking about telling a story and having produced a couple of documentaries and a soap opera now. I'm really curious about what's the story? Because they, I know that in crowdfunding, crowdsourcing, they emphasize short and to the point, but that you have to find a story. It's just like it's journalism. It's like you can give a boring lecture about a topic, or you can tell a story about one person or one family or one situation, and you want to grab people's interest. So I'm really interested in what would be the story here, because it's not just about some tragic person. I mean, we made a documentary about a tragic situation in Limón, and we raised some money with it, but ultimately, I don't know, people got a little tired of it. It was 11 minutes long, so maybe that was the problem. But I'm really kind of like, if we were to bring in a little documentary team to make, I could do it myself, but I think that I might be able to, if we got someone who got funding to bring in a team, professional team to do.
We have Gina. We have a friend that she does videos.
She's that's her job. She's working in a newspaper. She does the pictures and the videos and everything about that. Yeah, she could help us with the video.
Exactly.
That would be
what's
her
name?
Great.
Gina. Exactly. That's why I want to arrange a trip to Limón, because we can go there. We can bring Gina over, and she will we can plan a video.
Well, let's imagine that we got Gina to Limón. What would be the angle? What would be? We don't know for a fact yet that the kidney disease is caused by this combination of heavy metals in the water and glyphosate. It's a theory.
Okay.
And we need to test the water. We need more information.
We don't
have to get all the information before we start. It's sort of like putting the cart before
we gotta
the horse.
focus on the telemedicine project.
You get some information.
But I think you also have to focus on who you're trying to tell the story to. Like,
exactly.
Yeah.
Well, we're trying to tell the story
who really
to,
has the money. Like,
if we're trying to raise money, we're trying to tell the story to the people who have the money. But who are the people who have the money? Are we talking foundations? Are we talking private donors? Are we talking universities, like you're saying? Are we going to do this in English or Spanish or both?
I would do like individuals, first word of mouth too.
Trying to do this internationally or in the country here.
In the country, and we want also people that live in the States. We have like 1.5 million living in the States, and we want them. Yeah, and so we want them to help too.
Now that's an interesting angle.
So the thing is that we need a compelling story. That's why, I want to go there. I want to see what is happening. I want to know, and over there we can actually do something. Gina, exactly. Gina she's very creative, and I trust her ability. So we go there and we're gonna make something good out of it.
But I'd actually like, because you're all creative too, and we can bring her in. But while you're here. Okay, so I'm going to just give a few facts here, and I want to see if you were Gina, if you were the one who was going to come in and make this video, where would you want to focus? Okay, so here we go. The village has 300 people. There's fair amount of intermarriage among cousins, so there's some genetic stuff going on. We have